MSI.4.
Hello everyone and welcome to this Game Replay Shoutcast. I'm Yawning Angel, and with me today I've got Chris Aetos as my co-caster, so thank you to him for doing that. And today we're covering a scrim play between Fnatic MSI and Empire Multigaming, so some pretty top tier teams. I think there's actually a couple of absences. Oh no, they're not missing yeah, I thought they were missing Nooblight from Empire. They're not, but Fresh Free Fly isn't playing for MSI. They've got the other 5 players in their lineup. So those of you who know Fresh Pro sadly won't be seeing him today. Everyone else here though, so we should be looking at an exciting game, even if it is only a scrim. Banning phase now, Chris Aetos. I mean, what do you expect to see these two ban?
Somehow I am expecting a Valkyrie ban, or I don't expect Empire to let Trixie play Valk. We've seen Trixie play Valk in a really mean way. Hopefully we'll see a ban. If not, I can really see MSI picking up Valk as a first pick.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. They do have a really great Valkyrie player there in Trixie, but equally Empire Multigaming not short either. VV and Scandal doesn't. I've not seen him play Valkyrie, but he's really good at that semi-carry role, so I could definitely see him playing a good Valkyrie. VV plays a bit of Valkyrie, and I think I've seen Unique Phaser played as well, so definitely got a lot of strong Valkyrie players on both sides here, and it wouldn't surprise me at all just to see one of these sides take her off the field. However, looks like, well, we might see a Valkyrie ban, but thus far not really on the cards. Fairly typical set of bans so far. Arachna, Fade, Soulstealer, Accursed, and Pestilence so far. It's not entirely typical, but it's not surprising either. Pestilence, I've seen a couple of bans on him in the past. This one doesn't really surprise me. He's definitely been rising back into prominence. He's a pretty decent semi-carry, and obviously once he gets there, he's a great initiator, so he fits into 2 roles nicely. And he's fairly good in lane, which has been a big problem for melee carries in the current metagame. So seeing that Pestilence ban, not too surprising. I mean, we haven't seen it that much, but it's definitely a decent ban. Accursed, obviously, still been picking up a lot of bans even since he was nerfed. Soul Stealer, very sensible ban. For those of you who didn't see Scandal last night on the Honcast live stream, it was ridiculous. He carried against loads so hard it wasn't even funny. Definitely worth trying to take that Soul Stealer away from Scandal by anyone's reckoning, really. And as MSI don't actually have any great Soul Stealer players, I don't think Trixie plays it too much, so not really too surprising to see them trying to take that great hero off the field. And obviously the last bans, Demented Shaman, Fade, and Arachna. Arachna has seen quite a few bans recently ever since the precision change made her a really great farmer. Demented Shaman, pretty decent babysit, not too surprising to see him banned. And Fade, pretty much a perma ban at the moment. Great gank thanks to her combination of invisibility, which makes it really hard to see her coming in a pretty hefty burst combo. So fairly standard bans, wouldn't you agree?
Indeed, Soulstealer does stand out as the weirdest ban, but considering Scandal's SS play, and exactly, there we go, with the Valk pick. We would definitely see a Valk pick this game. But Soulstealer, definitely the ban you kinda have to do against the MPR these days. The other ones, Accursed stands out a bit, but he used to be banned all the time now. Guess he's back on ban popularity.
Well, the thing is, Accursed hasn't really been nerfed. I mean, I know people like to talk about how the change to his ultimate was a nerf, and in some ways it was, but I mean, while you can't build him just pure support items with no regard to survivability, and it's true that if you play really stupidly, you're going to die, he's still much harder to take down than someone like Plague Rider or Demented Shaman. Plus, he's still got fantastic supporting abilities. His shield is fantastically good as it was, and it's been buffed, you know. He's got a buffed version of what was arguably one of the best non-ultimate abilities in the game already. He's got Cauterized, which isn't bad. Sear's not a useless ability either, you know. He's a really good hero. It makes perfect sense to see him, and especially when Soul Reaper's a top pick as he is these days, and really just beating the Soul Reaper Accursed lane is practically impossible. It's doable if they screw up and they somehow let you pick one of them off early, but realistically it can out-harass pretty much anyone else, and it's almost impossible to kill it. So Soul Reaper Accursed lane, you really want to pick up or ban one of those heroes just to stop the other side having it, really. And Accursed, even without that great combo with Soul Stealer, he's pretty decent on his own merits. Next pickup's Valkyrie, which we actually had them, haven't we? For the Hellborn and Magnus and Glacius. For Legion, Glacius took a bit of a nerf, but he's still a pretty great hero all round. I don't think Thing is, it's not a very significant nerf. He was a top pick before. They nerfed a fairly useless aspect of one ability that nobody really used. He's a top pick afterwards. It's not terribly surprising. It's like nerfing rank 4 of Entangle for Demented Shaman. Yeah, sure, it's not as great as it used to be, but who cares anyway? Nobody. I mean, Ice Imprisonment was primarily used offensively anyway, and it looks like we're going to see Scandal playing that Forsaken Archer, as well as a Nighthound pick up by Lean, so really bit of a carry-heavy lineup in a sense by this Empire side. Got 3 semi-carries, but they're all fairly useful early. They do gank fairly well, so it's more likely to just be a ganking lineup. However, we might well be seeing VV on that Nighthand, as well as obviously, pretty much without question, Scandal on that Forsaken Archer. He is a pretty much an incomparable semi-carry player at the moment. I mean, ever since Chew quit, Angry Testy normally goes more for harder carries of the Puppet Master and Chronos variety than of semi-carries. I would have to say that Scandal is pretty much the best semi-carry player in Hon at the moment. Don't know what you think, Chris Ayers.
Well, he definitely stands out as the absolute best Soul Stealer, hands down, at the moment. His Forsaken Archer, he does farm a great deal, but he still leaves a bit to be desired. I mean, he could, if he, I haven't seen his Arachna play or say his Puppet Master play, but as far as Soul Stealer goes, he's best one you can get. I'm assuming he'll play a decent Forsaken Archer game as well. This is actually a bit interesting. MSI did ban Pestilence, and I am a bit surprised. When I saw the Nighthound pick, I was expecting to scroll up and do see EMPR banning Pestilence, but it was actually the other way around. I found this very amusing.
There is certainly a certain irony to the situation, but yeah, I mean, looking at the teams they come out, we've got Soul Reaper, Magnus, Glacius, Plague Rider, and Legionnaire, obviously the standout pick there in some respects from this MSI side. So it's interesting, they've got quite a lot of ganking there, Magnus and Glacius with a certain amount of Legionnaire. Obviously built with a certain eye towards teamfight synergy. It echoes the old AoE F-Fest that the teams used to play in the really early Hon closed beta when you just had lots and lots of focus on AoE. You've got Magnus, Glacius, Plague Rider, and Legionnaire. Soul Reaper as well, kind of. So MSI harking back a bit there with something of an AoE team. It's a bit of a standout, really, in the current ganking-orientated metagame. Much more typical lineup from Empire. See quite a few mainstay heroes of theirs. Valkyrie, Forsaken Archer, and Witch Slayer are heroes that you see them pick up almost every game. Slither and Nighthand are not so commonly used, but they definitely fit into a ganking lineup. So Empire, sticking with what they know to playing a ganking lineup. MSI, a bit of a departure, more of an AoE focused lineup. It'll be interesting to see how this works. I mean, there's no doubt that outside of teamfights, I'm really favouring the Empire multi-gaming side here, just because they're going to be able to roam the map more, be more mobile with heroes like Valkyrie, who tend to be quite aggressive early on. And if they can get a lot of ganks off on this MSI side, I don't think that Kay and Ducky playing those real ganking heroes are going to be able to keep up with them. However, in the teamfights, again, you really have to favour MSI. All of these heroes have got something pretty nasty to drop into a teamfight. And while the Hellborn do have Slither, who obviously has revolting teamfight damage output due to his dots, that's pretty much all they've got. They're a lot more ganking focused, a lot more single target orientated, and I definitely don't think they'll be able to stand up to the Legion in teamfight. So with that said, who do you reckon is going to be taking this one, Crusaders?
I'd actually put my money on the MPR this game, and even in team fights, if AV does pull a good smoke bomb, I think MSI can't react at all.
I'm inclined to agree with you there, mainly because the way the current game works, ganking strategies are probably favoured. These are all really strong ganking heroes. Combined, they form a pretty damn strong ganking lineup, because you've got plenty of things, by which I mean Witch Slayer and Forsaken Archer, who can hold people in place for an extended period to eat a lot of damage. Valkyrie arrows, again, they can pick people off, or if you combine them with another stun, they can just make someone's life really, really miserable. And really, it just wouldn't surprise me at all to see MSI being so brutally ganked that they're not going to be able to keep up no matter how it goes in the later game, you know. It doesn't matter how good your team fights are if you're down 10-0 in the first 10 minutes. So if Empire can pull this starting lineup off really aggressively and work it, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see them win. Equally, if they can't, if they don't manage to get ahead ganking, MSI might well take this. But the other big thing about this MSI team, they don't have a carry. The nearest they've got is Soul Reaper, so really they're terribly, terribly reliant on trying to win these early team fights and push as a result, because if this goes late, gotta favour the Hellborn, and if they don't succeed in those team fights outside of them, I think the Hellborn will probably end up proving the superior side.
Yeah, but this MSI team will lack a bit really, really early game. Their real power doesn't come until they all hit level 6-ish, well, apart from Legionnaire,